From Lowell, Massachusetts, the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution, it's Eyes on the Watchtower with your host, Rick Farron.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome in to Eyes on the Watchtower. We're so glad you could join us today, and boy, you are going to get a lot of information today about the Jehovah's Witnesses and what they're actually hiding behind. My name is Rick Farron, and I'm your host for the program, but we have two of our co-hosts over here. Why don't you guys let us know who you are?
Hi, I'm Chelsea Danvers. It's nice to be here on the show today.
And I'm Dick Borgie, and I've been in the Witnesses, was in the Witnesses for 20 years as a ministerial servant.
Well, thank you, guys. Thank you for being on the program with us today. But we've got a woman coming in from California here very shortly by telephone line, and we're going to have a good conversation with her. But what we're going to be talking about today, friends, is the child molestation cover-up in the Watchtower Society. Now, we know the Catholic Church went through their problems and still having a lot of problems over child molestation. And also we know that Penn State went through their difficulties, but the Watchtower is also in the same situation. There's a lot of lawsuits against them. The average witness has no clue to what is going on with child molestation cover-ups. They could be sitting right next to a pedophile and they don't even know it because no one's going to be talking about it. But let me tell you, first of all, what happened back in June. In fact, from Oakland, California, this appeared in the San Francisco Chronicle. A Northern California jury has awarded $28 million in damage to a woman who said the Jehovah's Witnesses allowed an adult member of a Fremont Kingdom Hall to molest her when she was a child back in the mid-1990s. Alameda County jurors awarded $7 million in compensatory damages on Wednesday and another $21 million in punitive damages on Thursday to Candace Conti, her attorney Rick Simmons said. This is the largest jury verdict for a single victim in a religious child abuse case in the country, Simmons told the Associated Press. In her lawsuit, Conti, now 26, said from 1995 and 1996, that's right, when she was 9 and 10 years old, and a member of the North Fremont Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses, she was repeatedly molested by a fellow congregant, Jonathan Kendrick. The Associated Press does not normally name victims of child sexual abuse, but Conti has identified herself publicly to encourage other victims of sexual abuse to come forward, Simmons said. Nothing can bring back my childhood, Conti told the Oakland Tribune, but through this verdict and through hopefully a change in their policy, we can make something good come out of it. Kendrick was never criminally charged in the case involving Conti, but besides the 1994 conviction, he was later convicted in 2004 of lewd and lascivious acts with a child, as the record shows. So this Kendrick character was involved not only with Candace, but another child as well. Kendrick, 58, now lives in Oakland, California, and according to the California Sex Offender Registry, a message left with a person answering the phone at his home was never returned, so he didn't want to talk about it. But Candace Conti's mother, she wants to talk about it, and she's coming right here today on our program. And, you know, if you're just listening in, as we always say at the outset of our program, if you're a witness, don't leave now. Really, turn the TV up. Listen to it intently because you're going to be hearing things that the Watchtower isn't going to tell you, but we're here to tell you. We are the ones that are keeping an eye on the Watchtower. Dick, were you aware of all this pedophilia cover-up or what?
I have been aware of it ever since you exposed it. And I think it was Connie Chung did a thing on 60 Minutes or 2020, and it got national news.
In fact, Dick, back in 2002, on the Dateline program, NBC, it was also exposed. There was a 20-minute segment on Dateline back then how the Watchtower is covering up child molesters in their congregation. So, I mean, this is an ongoing thing. It's something perhaps many just aren't learning for the first time on our program. But if you are, again, I always say the internet is a great way to find out what's going on behind the curtains of the Watchtower. Get into the search engine of Google and punch in there, Jehovah's Witnesses, child molestation. I think you'll be amazed, in fact, how much goes on. As one person put it, there are over 23,000 alleged child molesters on file at the world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, very good. Well, I want you to know that we have live on the phone here today, we have Kathleen Conti. Kathleen Conti, you're calling in. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, Rick, I am.
Well, Kathleen was so glad you could come on the program, and thank you very much. I know you had to get up a little early out there in California today, but we certainly welcome you on the program. I just read to the audience here, our TV audience, Kathleen, that about the San Francisco Chronicle article back in June 16 specifically, about the lawsuit. And of course, I know it's been modified since then, Kathleen. But what can you tell us as of today? That this was an important day, I believe. The Watchtower had to give you some type of an answer. How's the court case going?
Well, the Watchtower does on appealing this case, taking it to the appellate court, and they have till the end of this, or they are going to plan to file this appeal by the end of this. There's a really bad echo that I keep hearing my voice, so hopefully we can continue doing this. So Candace has hired a very good appellate attorney of her own from the law firm of Arnold and Porter, LLP, out of San Francisco, in this individual to handle the case in a way that will help us protect the verdict and also the money owed by the Watchtower.
So, Kathleen, if you're still hearing the echo, I can hear you good, so I know it might be a little disturbing, but you just keep talking like you are and do the best you can. Is it getting a little better sound now?
No, I'll just go ahead and work through it.
All right, good. Let's go right back to the beginning of this. Of course, you're the mother of Candace. She was the one that was actually molested in the Kingdom Hall. Obviously, this goes back to the early 90s. It was something that must have been terrifying to you, Kathleen, and when you first found out about it. What was your first reaction? And was this man an elder, or what was his position in the congregation?
Jonathan Kendrick, he never did become an elder, but he was a ministerial servant serving in the Fremont North congregation. And he was I'm not quite sure when it was, what year, but he was no longer a ministerial servant. He was demoted, I guess you might think. And we never really, this congregation did not know why, but we found out later that it was because that there was an incident that he had of sexually abusing his stepdaughter, Andrea, who was the daughter of Evelyn Kendrick. These two gals were witnesses for Candace in her case and testified to the fact that he had molested Andrea and that they had reached out to the elders for help and for protection. And they certainly gave them a chance to do so. And what Evelyn got back from the elders that they met with was basically, you know, if you had been sharing your marital bed with Kendrick on a more regular basis, he wouldn't be doing this to Andrea, which is quite shocking. That's even hard to believe anyone could say that. But That's what they said. So they, not protecting them or really warning anyone in the congregation of it, they decided to take this to the Fremont Police Department. And that's what they did.
Well, no doubt. I mean, I've seen so many lawsuits. I've come across so many lawsuits concerning the Watchtower and child molestation. Most of them are settled out of court before it even gets there. Your case was somewhat unprecedented because you guys went all the way into the court system. That means you got full publicity. When these cases are settled out of court, I know at least 17 cases myself where they were settled out of court. And when they're settled out of court, of course, they don't hit the mainstream press. A gag order is put on those that were the victims. So I know that your daughter is very courageous, and being backed up by you as well, Kathleen. You guys stood in there, and you didn't give in, you didn't give up, and you didn't give out. You kept moving forward. I've got a couple of my co-hosts here, colleagues, Chelsea Danvers and Dick Borgie. I'd like to have them see if they have a question for you.
Well, I just have a comment. For Chelsea, and that I have oceans of respect for the fact that she didn't sell out. Usually in cases like this, against a big organization or college or something like that, or a religion, they offer more money if you settle out of court and a gag order is placed on you. So if she wanted to get more money, all she had to do is accept a larger settlement with the gag order and not protect other people. So what this woman did, taking it all the way through the courts, she has protected so many more people and have exposed the Jehovah's Witnesses for the frauds that they are. The worst thing in the Jehovah's Witness world is to bring reproach on Jehovah's name. That's what they claim. The real fact is they don't want the bad PR.
Well said, Dick. No, they don't want the bad PR as well. That's why, I mean, Kathleen Conti, I mean, she's our poster child here. Mm-hmm. She's the poster woman. She's the one that's getting all this attention coming, all this bad press, all this bad attention coming to the Watchtower. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Dick. Chelsea, what do you have to say to Kathleen on the phone?
Hi, Kathleen. How are you? I'm Chelsea. I just wanted to say as well that's very courageous of your daughter and of you as well to speak out against this this disgusting thing that's going on within the Watchtower Society. And my heart goes out to you guys, and I wish you the best.
Well, thank you. You know what really makes this case remarkable and is that it did go to trial, and the Watchtower Society has been settling these out-of-court settlements in many cases, and so we've never really been able to expose what they have been up to for decades. And there's been a lot of victims out there, that, including myself, that thought we could never really touch these guys. They're way too big and powerful and secretive and controlling. And through their legal team, they would make sure that they would suppress the truth. So it was a great case because not only did we get to take this to trial, but the results of it were huge. We're, talking about $21 million of punitive damages against the Watchtower. And the reason why that's so large is because the jury saw for themselves that has no intention on changing its policy and has no intention on taking responsibility or accountability for their own behavior, that they're arrogant and they're wanting to be the winners here, and that's all that really matters, and that their image is all that matters above any abuse victim. I mean, that came out really loud and clear in this trial. And another great thing is that this has really shown other victims out there today that have been maybe reluctant to come forward, maybe reluctant because they thought that this could never, that the Watchtower, like we used to think, was too powerful to take a trial like this. And now I can tell you today that there are cases in the works right now. You will hear about them. They are coming. And it's all because Candace was very determined, and she found a who was willing to say, you know what, all I care about is settlement, and it's the easy way out, and I'm just going to take the money and run. Candace could have done that. Rick could have done that, but they didn't. Rick honored Candace's wishes. He's a fantastic attorney, and he took it to trial, and he exposed them for their lies and their secrecy, and we won. And so now we're going to have, following this case, other witnesses now, or I'm sorry, victims out there that are going to feel empowered by this case and say, yes, I can do this too. So that's the great thing about this case.
Well, that is a great thing, Kathleen. I've always said I like the way you sound. You come on, you're a very positive lady. You don't really whimper. You're not holding back. You're willing to tell it all. And we're so glad that you're able to do that. Let me ask you a question. How was it that the Watchtower attorneys behaved in court, Kathleen? I mean, were they smug? Were they arrogant? Were they kind? Were they polite? What would you say?
You know, pre-trial, which is probably lasts about a year of intense depositions. There's a lot of activity that goes on before you bring a trial at this size to court. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of motions. There's a lot of dealings with the trial judge. There's like I said, depositions, and the attorneys for the Watchtower are talking with Rick, and the judge is talking to the attorneys. And what we noticed is that these attorneys do not act like they're living in the real world. They are acting like they are living in their own little world of where we're just going to march into court and we're going to win a case, and because God is on our side, you don't have a chance. And that's the sort of arrogance that was shown throughout this whole trial towards Candace, the victim. And incredibly shocking is the arrogance that they showed towards the jury.